Identifying evacuation routes and assembly points. And in the face of emergencies or natural disasters, having a meticulously crafted evacuation plan is essential. A key element of effective evacuation planning is the identification of evacuation routes and assembly points. These routes ensure safe passage for individuals fleeing danger, while assembly points serve as designated areas for regrouping and receiving further instructions. In this module, we will delve into the process of identifying evacuation routes and assembly points, prioritizing the safety of all involved. Evacuation routes are designated pathways that guide individuals away from hazardous areas to safety. These routes must be thoughtfully planned to ensure maximum safety and efficiency during evacuation. Considerations for an effective evacuation route include accessibility, capacity, and potential hazards along the way. To identify suitable evacuation routes, it is crucial to assess the current infrastructure in the vicinity. Examine the road networks, pedestrian pathways, and available transportation options. Explore alternative routes, such as back roads or secondary streets, to prevent congestion during mass evacuations. Mapping evacuation routes is crucial. Utilize maps or Geographic Information System (GIS) tools to outline primary and secondary evacuation routes. Clearly mark the starting points and destinations for each route. It is advisable to establish multiple routes to maintain flexibility and accommodate various scenarios. Remember to evaluate potential hazards along the evacuation routes, such as bodies of water, steep slopes, landslide-prone areas, or low-lying regions susceptible to flooding. Document these hazards and plan alternative routes to avoid them, or implement measures to mitigate associated risks. It's important to consider the resources necessary along the evacuation routes, including road signage, communication systems, evacuation guides, emergency lighting, and first aid stations. Ensure these resources are accessible and operational during emergencies. Establishing assembly points is an essential step as well. Assembly points are designated locations where evacuated individuals can gather after reaching safety. These points function as meeting areas where further instructions, assistance, and support can be provided. They should be easily identifiable, sufficiently spacious to accommodate large groups, and strategically located away from potential hazards. Choose assembly points that are accessible by both foot and vehicle. They should be in close proximity to evacuation routes, yet far enough from danger zones to ensure safety. Large open areas, schools, community centers, or parks are often suitable options for assembly points. Assembly points should be equipped with basic amenities such as restrooms, shelter, drinking water, and emergency supplies. Consider the availability of these facilities when selecting assembly points, or make arrangements to provide them during evacuations. Once evacuation routes and assembly points are established, it is vital to communicate this information to the public. Utilize various channels, including local media, community alerts, social media platforms, and signage along the routes, to inform individuals about designated evacuation paths and assembly locations. Evacuation routes and assembly points should be routinely reviewed and updated to reflect changes in infrastructure or potential hazards. Conducting regular drills and exercises can help identify areas for improvement and ensure that the evacuation plan remains effective and current. Identifying evacuation routes and assembly points is a critical component of emergency planning. Through comprehensive assessments of existing infrastructure, careful mapping of routes, consideration of potential hazards, and thoughtful selection of assembly points, a robust evacuation plan can be developed. Regular updates, clear communication with the public, and ongoing evaluation of the plan are essential to ensuring the overall effectiveness and safety of the evacuation process.